Okay, so if you have a relationship in your life that needs healing, our next guest is your gal, clinical psychologist, internet sensation, Nicole LaPera.
Yeah, we have many questions for Nicole.
Many.
But first, let's find out how she went from private practice to helping millions on social media.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all my self-healers out there.
In 2017, clinical psychologist Nicole LaPera found herself frustrated by the limits of traditional psychotherapy. So she began working to combine ideas from psychology, physical well-being, and spirituality to create a path to self-healing.
We want to work on widening our window or teaching our body to deal with more and more stress. We can do that by putting ourselves in new or uncomfortable situations, like an ice bowl.
She calls herself the holistic psychologist, and in just 6 years has amassed more than 8 million social media followers and an online platform with more than 20,000 subscribers around the globe.
Take a deep breath and say, I am safe. Disappoint people.
Now the New York Times bestselling author's latest book, How to Be the Love You Seek, is about looking inward to help heal the relationships in your life.
It really is about us mourning our earliest relationships and all the unmet needs and things that didn't happen that should have, or maybe things that happened that shouldn't have, or whatever it is for us, right? And until we give ourselves that space, it is that deep, it is that big.
Oh, it's so good to see you. We get why you're an internet sensation. It's so funny because I do think a lot of people think I'll be fixed, I'll be healed, I'll be better if I meet him, if I meet her. And that's what I've been waiting for. But that's not the way it works.
That was me.
Yeah.
For decades of relationships, I kept feeling very emotionally disconnected from every partner I was with. Continued to assume it was what they were doing or not doing that was causing the problem.
Right.
The relationship would end, onward I would go, trying to find this perfect person where I wouldn't feel that way. And really came to understand, for me, somewhere in my early 30s, how I was so focused on achievement and the roles I was playing for other people, and so disconnected from my own emotions that in reality, I wasn't open to emotional connection or support at all.
Yeah, and this new book is all about sort of finding the love in yourself, right? Like, as you just said, you can't blame the other person when you're not feeling fulfilled. How did you kind of break down old patterns and old things to figure out what it was that was lacking or what was triggering you?
I think the first thing to understand is that the most foundational relationship is the relationship that we have with ourselves. Because even when asked about this book, is it for me if I'm not in a relationship? And the reality of it is the way that we think about ourselves, what we come to believe about ourselves, was formed in our earliest relationships based on what we were made to think or believe from typically the caregivers or parents around us. The way we navigate our emotions or express ourselves emotionally was impacted by how emotionally attuned someone else was to us, how safe we felt and how consistently we were soothed by that person. And then ultimately the way we're showing up with other people, how we're connecting or relating is directly related to what we had to do or stop doing in those earliest relationships to maintain those connections. And we continue to repeat those patterns throughout life.
It's so funny because there was someone who said that when you're young, sometimes you're given a life sentence, like a sentence. Someone calls you something and you carry that inside and that becomes how you define yourself. And to try to pull that up by the roots, like it sounds easy, like I want to get rid of old patterns, but pulling up old stuff from the roots is not easy. How do you even go about that?
And I think a lot of us get frustrated if we read the self-help books or hear about affirmations. Just repeat that you're worthy consistently throughout the day, and then you feel worthy. Though when we're talking about beliefs, we are talking about these embedded, I call them neurophysiological networks that are not just the thoughts running through our mind on repeat, the often critical negative narratives that we've maybe heard directly or indirectly spoken about ourselves. They're mapped on to physiological experiences in our body. And that for me was the big shift, learning about the body, about the nervous system, how these are housed inside of us, repeated subconsciously. And
it's so interesting because you'd already gotten your doctorate, you were practicing, you'd been in college and school for psychology for a decade. Yes, and yet you hadn't learned most of this stuff.
The schooling, and I'm seeing a shift very gratefully, I think, in the field generally, though this idea of coming into a room, which of course is helpful to have a safe space where we can share about our past, our present, our future worries or concerns is part of the journey. Though if we're not understanding how much these beliefs are embedded in us, how much we are repeating these subconscious patterns, which for me was not even spoken about outside of the fact that we have a nervous system and it, kind of communicates between our mind and our body. There was no other talk of it. And so I felt really disempowered.
I think what's interesting, you showed that bowl of ice water. There's such a physicality to getting stuff out of your system. And I think people are like, well, that, I have to think about it and get rid of it. But there's a way you can literally use your body to get rid of some of that stuff.
I mean, to really simplify it, to create change, we have to begin to make new choices. And I think the biggest new choice that most of us as adults can benefit from making is learning how in our physical body to tolerate stress and upsetting emotions.
So what would you do? I saw the bowl of ice. I was like, that's a great tip. But what can people do to try to shake it up?
I think first learning and noticing in your body when you are experiencing a stress reaction, when your muscles are getting tense, when your heart rate is quickening, when your, breath is shifting, all of that is an indicator that my body is stressed.
Yeah.
We don't want to avoid stress. So many of us in that moment distract our attention away or focus our attention outward or start scrolling on social media. It's about dedicating and taking those conscious moments.
And listening to it, right?
Listening to it, because in those moments, that's where we're going to be much more likely to have those habitual reactions, to start screaming and yelling, saying things that we don't mean, to be distracted or disconnected, or even like me, I spent many years just shut down completely. I call it in my spaceship. And we shame ourselves.
In your spaceship?
We don't, in my spaceship, kind of hovering above myself, really good at going about the motions, successfully achieving things in my life, being in all these partnerships, yet, like I said earlier, so emotionally disconnected.
Well, there are some real questions that viewers have that you can break down. So we're going to come back after the commercial break and we'll answer some of those right after this.